Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live this evening in the 100% tier in UFRL, of course on F124. Links piece the first driver to head out on track in the 18-minute qualifying session, followed by the full 100% race distance. That is 71 laps here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Links piece then first up, and you've got the Aston Martin just behind him. That will be Warner reserving tonight. And Deck also in the Haas is the third driver out. The championship leader, Le Bird, looking good for his title, but Rusted Bolt is his closest competitor in the Williams. But Le Bird seems to be continuing his fine run of form in the 100% tier. Again, it will be going to equal cars next season, but it is realistic to cars for the remainder of the season, as it has been for, I think, about 4 seasons now. I do believe it is the 4th season of the 100% tier. And now this will be the final one on the realistic car performance, and the next season it will be to equal. But Links piece then will be starting the first lap, and it goes out of, I think it's only 10 corners, so it is turn 10 for Links piece. And we'll just see how he gets on. And again, he will be looking to push himself through at turn 1 quite nicely. And it is reasonable, and we'll go with her onboard. Oh, it's the Alpine there. I mean, the Alpine was far across as possible, so you can't really put a blame on him for that. Seems to be okay. Through turns 2 and out of turn 3 now. Yeah, for some reason it is a turn 2 and 3 there. But heading all the way up into turn 4, a little bit of a downhill section here, and as you can see, taking a right-hander. Want to get a little bit onto the curb, as he does nicely there. And Links piece will continue to use a little bit of battery as well. And he heads through the double left-handers here. Can Links piece put an end to the Bird's dominance, his own teammate of course, and take a potential pole position here? Again, it's only the first run, so it's not like we're expecting something absolutely massive, but he'll be hopeful. He'll be hopeful we can get across the line and deliver here. And Links piece to the line, 104.7 for him, and it is a strong first effort. We'll go towards Declan. And Deck across the line, goes quicker, only marginally, 100th of a second. Deck pips Links piece. Bam is out of the session, and bam, that Visa RB cannot be further north if he wanted to be here at Austria. Look how north that car was. And that was on the exit of turn 3, well up the field. But Hayes now has it invalidated. We'll go towards the Bird then. Will he take away that pole from... Oh yeah, well no, he's not going to. He has invalidated. It would have been a 4.5. It would have been provisional pole, but he has invalidated his run. Merklen, he is going to be the potential next driver. You've got Woody as well. Let's stick on with Whittle, potentially to Warner. Nope, one is invalidated again. I think he did invalidate his last one as well. But we'll go towards Woody then. Across the line there, Doug goes P4, Viking currently P3, Woody to the line. Woody is a P5, a 6.0. Possibly made a mistake during his run. Merck going to go for another run. We'll go towards Woody Fernandez. So he'll get to the line. So 5.4 goes P4 as well, just ahead of Doug. The 2 tier 3 drivers tonight as well. Just ahead of Woody as Mr. Poem then. Out of turn 10, does not invalidate his time. And Mr. Poem to the line. He goes behind Merck. They're both starting a lap now. And the 2 Alpines are going to try and push on here. Links piece went across the line just there. Did not improve. Into the pits goes Declan with Viking. Baker Gaming, Kesonator still to get out on circuit. We'll go back towards the Bird. Invalidated again, the Bird. But he will be able to run for another lap here. I think he actually invalidated out of turn 10. So it does make sense why the Bird is going to go for another run. With that in mind, let's go back and see who is potentially improving here. You've got the Mercedes, Woody not improving. Merck and Mr. Poem, are they both improving? Yes, they are, so we'll watch out for those two. An improvement from Basil, who goes 5th fastest, a 5.4 for the V-Carb. But now we'll go towards Merck, but he hasn't validated his run. So Merck's not going to improve. Down towards Mr. Poem. Epic Frenchie rises up into the top 3. A 5.1 for him. To the line, Mr. Poem. It's a 4.9. It's P3 for Mr. Poem. And it's a strong lap time here for him. He'll be happy with that. But Links piece goes quickest. 4.7 just ahead of Deck. Deck had pipped the Kicksauber earlier, but now the Kicksauber is back on top. But for how much longer? Because the Bird is on a lap. And is he going to take provisional pole away? He flies out of turn 10 to the line. It's a 4.4 and it is quickest for the Bird by 0.3 of a second. The Bird secures what could be a Kicksauber 1 and 2 in qualifying. I mean, Deck, the Alpines, they'll all have something to say about that. Hazer as well, don't forget in the Haas, Rusted Bolt. Yeah, certainly some contenders, but the Bird looks very fast here. Rusted Bolt then is trying to push on, and he is gaining on this lap. Merck as well, you expect him, but he's not using his battery, so he's going to go again on his next run. Willie Fernandez just going up. He's up to 4th fastest now. Epic Frenchy will run again. Quite a few going for multiple laps here. So you got Woody across the line. He's starting another run as well. Rusted Bolt across the line just there. Basil just heading into the pit, as are a couple of other drivers then. So it's looking big at the moment. Woody then. There are yellow flags around him for Willie Fernandez. Willie Fernandez in the background there just looks like he is just avoiding any potential carnage. Let's see then from Hazer. Gaining by 0.4 of a second. He will get to the line here. But what has he got? He does say within track limits to the line. It's a 5.3. It's only 8th fastest for Hazer. A bit of a struggle there at the moment for him. And then you have got the Red Bull of Kesenator is on an out-and-out Bakey Gaming as well. Yet to see him, so let's see what he can do. His first official run does not take the full extent of the track limits, but to the line it's a 5.6 and goes 11th fastest as he crosses the line there. We'll go towards Merck then. Yet to set a strong tyre. Merck to the line. Stays on and goes P6 at 5.1. So he does go ahead of Epic Frenchy just behind his teammate Mr. Poem. And it is a 3rd row lockout for the Alpines as things stand. But Rusted Bolt is across the line. He will start another run. Currently down to P13. So you got Warner as well. Kesenator, of course, just starting a lap and a little bit out of sorts into the gravel. So he will try and go again. And also across the line, Deck not improving on that run. Half a second, 0.6 down. And we'll have to try and push on. Still just under 10 minutes of qualifying remaining. And there are support for Bird from Josh in the TikTok. So yes, thank you for that message. Right, let's see then who can secure a possible pole. I mean, the Bird looks good for it. And it does look like it will be a surprise if anybody can take it away from him. You certainly wouldn't expect so at this stage of the Grand Prix. As we are just sticking with the Deck, but I'm going to move away because he's not improving on this run. Let's have a look at others who could be improving. Rusted Bolt is certainly one of those. You've also got Warner to the line. Does go 4th fastest for Warner. What about Rusted Bolt? P11 for him. Basil just starting a lap as well. You've got Baker Gaming out of turn 3, improving by 1/10 of a second on that sector. And then Doug also starting a lap and Haas heads into the pits. And that'll be Declan. Yellow flags for the V-Carb. And that'll be for Basil, as he has invalidated his lap time as well. So let's drop down the order then. The second Haas going into the pits as well. So both of them in. Mercedes are going together at the moment. You've got Woody with Viking Fox on board here with Bakey Gaming, who is going slowly, so may have made a mistake somewhere, but he's got to be careful here. The V-Carb just behind him, or the Red Bull rather, of Kesenator. So Kesenator on a lap, goes well wide, and somehow just not invalidated. It's a 6 or 7.2. It's P16 for Kesenator, but yeah, I don't know how he didn't invalidate there. Maybe just stayed a bit too wide to the point where the game allowed the lap time. We're on board here with Doug, who is trying to burn all of his battery. But is he gaining time in the Aston Martin on this lap? A couple of drivers heading back into the pits. But he does run wide, and it will be an invalidation for Doug. It would have been a 5.3, and it would have been an improvement up to P10 ahead of Hazer. Basil starts his lap time in the V-Carb as well. And the Mercedes again. They are running together. Woody is the first driver. Then you've got Viking Fox, who is also starting a lap time as well. What about the Kicksaubers? Let's check on with the Bird, but he's not on a hot lap on this occasion, so we'll certainly watch out for that. Yeah, certainly will be interested. Can he potentially move up the order? Not up the order, but get an improvement, maybe even push towards a low 104. Oh, well, just a low 104. I think that's what he would aim for. If he's going to improve, he'll look to get at least a couple of tenths of a second here. Link speed as well, be looking to get down a little bit, a few tenths of a second. Obviously, he needs to get that to the bird. And Deck as well certainly has a possibility. Warner looks quick. He's just been promoted from Tier 3 to Tier 2. And again, he's up there in 4th. Again, it is realistic cars. So the Aston Martin is genuinely going to be quicker than the Kick Saubers, the Haas, the Alpines, the Visa RBs, etc. The Williams as well. And also the McLaren with Woody Fernandez. You've got Woody in the Mercedes, Epic Frenchie in the Ferrari, for example. All in the top 10. But obviously they are quicker cars in general. But the pace differential is not absolutely massive between each car. But yeah, it is certainly going to be a helping hand for the likes of Warner, Woody Fernandez and Woody in this quali session, as Merck coming down to P10 for him, and the bird, as you can tell, running slowly again. Let's go with Epic Frenchie, but he's heading directly into the pits, so no improvement for him. And then you've got Merck on a lap, or is he? No, he's not. But he is running behind his teammate, Mr. Poem. And that potentially could see both try and go together again. Yeah, it does look like they will. As Viking Fox, a massive improvement from him. And the Mercedes, almost out of nowhere, goes second fastest. A great effort from Viking Fox, I have to say. And he's right there with the bird now at 15 thousandths of a second. So the Viking Fox is certainly showing up. Oh! That's an interesting stop there from, I believe, Basil. I mean, he must be out of fuel, but that's an interesting place to stop the car when you're out of fuel like that. Very, very risky, but luckily doesn't seem to have caused any major difficulties for the drivers. Yeah, fortunately, he's able to head into the pits. Let's drop away then. Let's see if the bird is potentially improving on this run, or certainly not. He was in hot lap temporarily, but we've got less than 5 minutes remaining now. Hazer also did go up to P3 during that time. Woody Fernandez, and we'll wait to see him go on another lap. Mr. Poem slightly improving. Merck as well. Is he improving? Well, it certainly looks like he is. We'll go towards Poem for the meantime. But with Merck directly behind him, they were getting a little bit of slipstream there. But Mr. Poem out of turns 9 and now 10. Does not use the full extent of the track, but Mr. Poem to the line is enough for P5. Merck goes P7. So the two Alpines have just been split by Deck, who is on an outlap and going to go for what could be, I don't imagine it will be his final run. I mean, it could be, but yeah, I think he'll go for one more effort right at the end on a fresh set of tyres. We'll wait and see on that. Hazer is just heading into the pits now, so the Haas deciding he is going to go for a fresh set of tyres. The bird has spun. The bird has spun. So again, I'm not saying difficulties for the Kick Sauber, but we're not exactly attuned to seeing the bird making too many errors, and he certainly has done a couple of times during this qualifying session. But maybe that's just all about pushing your car to the very limit, which is obviously what the bird is trying to achieve here. And into the pits goes the Kick Sauber. So all of the top 4 now are into the pits as well. And you expect the two Alpines, Mr. Poem and Merck, to follow them through. And then you've got the V-car Basil just about to start a lap. You've got Kesenator, who is going again. Deck improves, and Deck is quickest. It's a 4.3 from Deck. Bakey Gaming, it's not him. Epic Frenchie starting a lap as well. But Deck is the one now to beat. Just under 3 minutes to go, so we are starting to get to the nitty gritty here of qualifying. And we'll drop towards Bakey Gaming, improving by 2 tenths at the moment. Could be on for a low 105, depending if he made a mistake, of course. But every driver in that top 11 now are in the 104s. Rusterbolt and Basil just in the back end of that. Willie Fernandez as well. Woviner, who obviously did set a strong lap earlier. Baker Gaming invalidated his time, but would have set a 105.6 anyway. Barely an improvement, would have stayed P15 regardless. And Kesenator is also invalidated, but does not have enough time to go into the pit. Epic Frenchie is gaining by about half a tenth. We'll see him if he can improve a bit more through the middle sector. Not really. He's about a tenth of a second now for Epic Frenchie. But again, could push towards the 104s here. Unfortunately, not Jay Smith. We do trials here. So if you do want to join the league, you would have to participate in a trial race. We normally do those Thursdays and Sundays. If you pass, which is all related to being clean as a driver, if you pass, then yeah, you'll be accepted into the league. But yeah, you would have to do a trial first before having an official league race. Right, so Epic Venture there in P10. Two Kicksabers running together as well. We'll drop towards the Mercedes. Woody is about to start his lap as well. Yeah, his teammate of Viking Fox further up the field. You've got Doug just here. Doug is improving. Deck decides to retire, and that's his session done. Doug to the line, improves, goes P14. Does not really significantly improve his position, however. So you got Woody, you got Basil. These guys may get another run in here. They probably just about got enough time with 50 seconds on the clock. You really want to be running at least into turn 3 at the moment to start a final run on the next time of asking. So Basil will be one to watch. Let's see what the Kicks Albers are doing though. Both are currently on outlaps, so don't need to worry about them. Hazer is having to push because he may not get a final opportunity with 30 seconds to go. Seems unlikely. Viking Fox is on for an improvement here, and he is certainly gaining a little bit of time through the middle sector. Is it enough to dethrone Deck and the Birds at the top of the standings here? Viking Fox out of turns 9 and 10 goes wide, hasn't validated, and therefore he will not be able to go for one final run. He did not improve anyway, and Viking Fox will remain third fastest. The Bird is on a lap, Link's Piece is on a lap. Hazer has failed to improve. He will remain P4 for now. Vovana stays 5th, Mr. Poem 7th. You've got Link's Piece on the lap as well. And these are the two, the Kicksabers, who are trying to step it up here. Willie Fernandez on the lap just behind them as well. Duck retires in P14. Check flags out for the majority of drivers as the Bird is going quicker, but not at a significant rate. Link's Piece has made a mistake. He will not improve on provisional P6, but it's all down potentially to this man, to the Bird. Has he got enough in him to nail Sector 3? He goes wide! He goes wide! Deck will take pole, surely! It's not going to be Viking. It's not going to be Lynx. Merc is also invalidated. It's surely going to be pole for Deck here. Basil's off track. Woody is the only one, but he hasn't validated, and it's game over. Deck will take pole ahead of the Bird here at the Austrian Grand Prix. And the Bird's lap time would not have been enough to take pole away from Deck regardless, but Deck has just about clinched that pole position, where the Bird and Viking Fox looks very quick as well, with Hazer, Warner, Lynx, and the two Alpines as well, William, Epic Frenchie, Russell and Basil, all of that top 12, setting a sub 105 here at Austria. Certainly some good times are being posted tonight. But yeah, definitely very much fair play to the drivers, but Declare setting the quickest lap of all. Right then, obviously we'll wait on the drivers to get themselves into the pits for tyre from the session, or cross the line, whichever one they decide to do. The Bird is trying to burn the battery to try and run it again. It would have done enough on that lap actually, the Bird. It would have been a 104.1, and the Bird would have taken pole away from Declare by 0.2 of a second. But obviously, invalidated. Therefore, Deck takes pole. As per usual, we will have a 5-minute break after qualifying, and we will be going at what looks to be 20:28, depending if it changes quickly or not. If it doesn't, it will be 28. If it does, then it will be 29. So we'll just wait and see once all of this is done. But as you can see, the full classification, Deck and the Bird 1 and 2, but it's Deck on pole. Viking Fox P3 ahead of Hazer and Warrener Lynx. The 2 Alpines, 7th and 8th for Mr. Poem and Merc. Willie Fernandez and Epic Frenchie in the top 10. For Rusted Bolt, Basil, Woody Doug, Baker Gaming, Kesonator, and last of all, Bam, is at the rear of the field. So we will be ready up at 28 then, because it's not hit 24 yet. So therefore, 5 minutes, there you go, easy stuff. I'll be with you in a few minutes' time to kickstart this Austrian Grand Prix. Right, we are back, and the drivers have been informed to ready up. So A 5-minute break has commenced, and we will be kickstarting this Austrian Grand Prix. Have been informed as well that we may have potential rain incoming near the end of the race. It is only a possibility, it's not certain, according to one of the drivers. So we'll find out if it does occur at the end. But the sound has started, and here we go. This is UFRL, it's the 100% tier, it's the Austrian Grand Prix, 5 red lights, at the front of the field, it's go, go, go for Deck and the Bird, and it's a strong start from the Haas, who will put ahead. The Bird, does he go down the inside? Not quite, it's a virtual safety car, because Basil's car has not gone on the start, so a virtual safety car has been called. He will probably get a disqualification for that as well. I do believe that is pretty much it for Basil, so he is going to be out of the Grand Prix unless that is actually his car moving. Is it? Oh, he might have got lucky there. I think it's his car. So it's a virtual safety car, but sadly for him, he will be a long way back. And we will be getting underway again in just a moment's time. Medium tyres for the entire field, bar Woody in P14. So everybody except one driver are on the medium compound tyre, including everybody in the top 13. So therefore, we don't really need to have a look at that. Position changes, big movers at the start, even though it's a virtual safety car. Doug and Kesonator and Bam have all gained places. Ruster Bolt up a place as well. Unfortunately for Epic Frenchie and Woody and Baker Gaming have lost a place. Basil dropping 5 spots. The end of the virtual safety car will be about to end. We'll get the lap data up as well, in case you need to have a look what tyre they're on in the top right side. In the top right side, rather, as well. And we are back underway. Green flag racing. It does take about a lap for the virtual safety car to go in, interestingly. But down the inside goes the Bird on Deck. And they were running side by side through turn 1. But here comes Hazer. Hazer will attack. Will he attack his teammate as well? Deck going for it, the Bird going for it, Hazer ruled out, Wobbener just behind them, down the inside goes the Bird, and does he take the place of the Haas? Yes he does, but Deck is on the outside line, and he may get a traction to pull clear, he does, and Deck retains the race lead here. So it's Deck from the Bird, from Hazer in P3, and now Hazer's just there, Warner P4, Mr. Poem behind Link's Piece, and then Viking and Merc as well, and they are going for a little bit of a battle here. Merc on the inside line, Merc going for it on the inside, and Merc just about get through on Viking Fox and rising up into the top 7. Warner now, Warner's trying to get a piece of the action, attacking Hazer, and here comes the kick elbow of Lynx as well, but Warner round the outside. Does he get his way through? I think he may have done. Yes, he does. He is through. Warner's onto the podium. Big move from him. Down into turn 9. And now, Warner is up to P3. Then it's Lynx, Hazer and Mr. Poem with Merc, Viking, William and Doug in the top 10. As Basil is still trying to catch up to the field. A little bit of a breakaway from P13 down now with Kesonator, Bam, Baker Gaming and Woody just staying in the DRS range. And Mr. Poem now, round the outside, making a move on Hazer. Hazer breaking as late as he dares and tries to hold on to the place on lap 3. It's only lap 3. They're going crazy. And Mr. Poem takes the place of Hazer. And now Merc follows through. Merc takes advantage and Merc is up into the top 6. Both Alpines making moves as the Bird takes the lead of the race away from Deck. Does he? They are going side by side. Yes, he does. Round the outside and the Bird takes the lead. Deck under pressure. Warner sends it on the inside line. He's side by side. Don't lose time to the Bird, lads. Do not do it, because otherwise you will be busted. But just about Deck holds on to P2 and Warner drops in behind at P3. But it's an epic battle at the front here. The top 12 are still firmly in that DRS range here as Bam and Baker Gaming get through on Kesonator at the start of the Grand Prix. The Burden still leads from Deck and Warner. That is your top 3 at the moment, but a long, long way to go. We're on board directly with Warner. There will be a lot of action here at Austria. Don't expect it to just last a couple of laps. And as you can see on the inside layer goes Link's Piece. And both Kick Saubers trying to make some moves here. The Bird under pressure from Deck at the front. And Deck now, does he switch to the inside line? No, he doesn't. He's under a bit of pressure, in fact. It is 3 wide between a trio of Lynx, Deck and Warrener. And it looks like the Bird's joined in because the Bird has dropped Lynx Peace. Has gone for the lead. He takes the lead. Lynx Peace up to P1. And it is up to the Kick Saubers of the Bird now, who is attacking Deck. They are going side by side, but Lynx is just ahead of them. And now the Bird on the outside line takes Lynx Peace. So Lynx has to drop down. He's under attack here, but Warrener swooping through and attacks Deck and gets through on Deck. Warrener's back into the podium. Deck down to P4 ahead of Mr. Poem, but not for much longer, is it? Mr. Poem has a look down the inside of turn 1, but says, but there's a Mercedes. Viking Fox brakes super late. And I don't know if that has given damage potentially to Willie Fernandez. But Viking Fox did go incredibly late and deep in at turn 1 there, as Warrener and Deck are trying to vie for position once more, and Willie Fernandez continues to drop places with that damage. Back on board with Mr. Poem, with his teammate just behind him. He has a look down the inside. Warrener has a look for the move, goes for the move. Does he take the move as well? Yes, he does. Mr. Poem up into the top 4. Warrener under attack now from Merc. Merc going to try and swoop round the outside for the double left-handers. Is he able to execute a move? Yellow flags for Kesenator at the rear of the field. But now it looks like Warrener has just about held onto the place. Viking Fox now. Deck is losing places left, right and centre. Deck's down a P8 here. He's into the pits now, Deck. And he does have damage on his end plate, the left side. So there's a lot for Deck to do now in this race to get back in it. But he has a chance. Don't forget, safety cars are on increase tonight, and they are not on standard. So that is also why potentially the virtual safety car came out straight away. But Mr. Poem on the attack now, on the Bird. Yeah, he does take second place away. Does he? Yes, he does. The Bird cannot hold on. And Mr. Poem now up to P2. But Lynx Peace has got over a 1 second gap now that he needs on Mr. Poem. And now you've got Merc on the inside liners going for the move, attacking on Warrener, side by side out of turn 4 and leading into turn 5. And now for the double left-handers again, but not able to take the place through 6 and 7. And Merc just once again has to stay in behind. Epic Frenchie now has a look on the inside of Doug. Unable to take the place, Doug stays ahead, but is at risk of losing DRS now, with Rusted Bolt and Hazer directly behind those two, Doug and Epic Frenchie. Go back up the field. He may just drop down in a moment again, but we're having a look here. Basiel, 3-second time penalty. Don't forget, he was the one which resulted in the virtual safety car early doors. And there you go, round the outside, flying through Mr. Poem, still has the battle with the Bird. But Warrener now. Warrener is trying to get right involved in the thick of things, and he does, round the outside. Down the inside goes the Bird, round the outside goes Merc as well, and the Bird just about hangs on here, but Merc is going to try and get the place. He does, using the battery, and he takes the Bird now. Bird drops to P5. And maybe a little bit of contact there between the Aston Martin and Mr. Poem. But either way, Merc sails through, does he? Side by side, going Merc with Warrener. But it looks like Warrener's just about getting in place here. But Merc is going to try and fight this one back. But what does the Bird have to offer? Not enough. And yellow flags for Epic Frenchie. Epic Frenchie is round at turn 6 now. The yellow flags, but they are disappearing. And he is back on track here. But a fast start at the front in particular. And there you go, these drivers are still trying to get back within a second of Lynx. Lynx looks very, very quick here in the Kick Sauber. Hazer has set at 8.3 for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. To be fair to Woody, I think he'll be satisfied being on the hard tyres, and he's still in a decent pack. I know he's at the rear of it, but he's still in there, as Warrener sends a move for the battle with Merc now, side by side these two. And Merc, has he finally completed his move on Warrener? Yes, he has. And the two Alpines now are P2 and P3. And Merc goes down the inside on Mr. Poem, and Warrener just drops in behind. So the Alpines potentially now just going to try and work together. But they certainly need to do something, because they cannot allow for Link's piece to continue to pull away at a rate he's going. But Warner now down the inside on Mr. Poem, and he does get the move done. Warner obviously just settling in from that promotion from Tier 3 up to Tier 2. But now the Bird has a look on the inside of Mr. Poem at turn 8 to 9. And down at turn 9, couldn't quite complete the move there. Bam! Baker Gaming, Rusted Bolt. What's going on here? Into the pits goes Rusted Bolt. So the Williams deciding he is going to pit early. Potentially could have wing damage even. Let's get the pit stop situation up as well. Or even the tyres. A couple of hard tyre runners there. And Baker Gaming receives a time penalty. But the pit stops are on for you. 2 stops for Willie Fernandez. 1 stop for Deck. And the battles continue to occur at the front of the field. And here you go. 4-way battle going on. Merck, Warner, Mr. Poem and the Bird involved once again. They're all still going for the cluster of positions here. On board with the Bird, and he could be looking at a double switch back here, but it has been blocked off expertly by Mr. Poem. And Warner now is going for the move on the inside of Mr. Poem. The Bird still involved as well. Don't rule him out of a potential double overtake. But Merck is trying to pull clear now. I do feel like they've got to try and work together to try and catch up to Lynx, because at the moment it is not working for any of these drivers. They need to do something to catch the Kicksauber, but whatever they're doing right now, it is not enough. Just directly on board here with the Bird as well. Potentially drop down and have a look towards Woody, who is closing in on Baker Gaming. On those hard compound tyres, don't forget, started on them, and the only driver to start on them, in fact. So we'll wait and see if he can make some moves during in this race. As Warner now does get a move on Mr. Poem, and he does he? They're still side by side, and yes, he has. Oh! What's that? The Bird! The Bird flies! He really truly is flying! Flying off track! He's trying to encounter Germany, not Austria! He just dropped down to P6, but he's out of DRS range now, as Basil leaves the session, and I think he will have to get an invite, and sadly I will have to send him one. I will be sending one now, but he has to get him pretty quickly if he wants to rejoin, so he best be quick. Basil, if you want to get yourself back in, you're not showing online for me, so therefore, guess what? Oh, yep, you are. There you go. Alright, I've sent you an invite, so you can now rejoin. Right, to the action we go. As you can tell, I'm probably not looking at any real comments if any do come through. It might take a little bit of time to get to them, just because of how quick this racing is going right now, where you've got all the battling for P2, you've got the battling going on for P7 as well. Woody receives a 3-second time penalty, and Basil just rejoin. Currently in P12. Viking Fox though, not really seen him during this race, but all of a sudden he's up there, and now he's overtaken Warner. Looks for a late move potentially on the Alpine, not quite going for it. The Bird has caught back up Kesnate with a time penalty, and Warner now does go side by side with Viking Fox, but the Bird knows he wants to make moves, and he does get through on Viking now, or does he? Viking Fox, has he made contact there with Warner? May have done, but the Bird though is trying to fight this one. A horrible camera angle that the game has given us thanks to EA. Lovely. We'll go directly on board with Viking Fox then for this action between the Bird and Warner. As you can see, he's struggling a little bit to turn the corner. To turn for the corner rather. I do wonder, there could be damage, and it looks like there is for Viking Fox. He has got damage, so that is why he is having to pull in and go into the pits. See, we'll drop back then. As you can see, that 4-way battle continues to resume then, as Viking now joins into the pits. Link's piece still clear by over 2 seconds. I mean, he's not the one who you would typically expect from the Kicksauber to be dominant, but he has had a very strong race here. Mr. Poem then makes the move on Merck. They are trying to DRS share as much as they can in favour of catching Lynx ahead. You got Warner just here, you got the Bird still in the frame. Don't forget, he did have that little half spin earlier where he went onto the grass. Merck overtaken Mr. Power once again, continuing to DRS share with Warner and the Bird behind. They are sort of making inroads on Link's piece, but it is ever so minor at just under 2 seconds now. They gained a couple of tenths on this lap so far. Directly on board with Warner, and I wonder if he's going to go for a big move into turn 9. Looks like he's just settling in now, potentially not trying to risk too many big overtakes. Ooh, getting close there towards Mr. Poem. And he does go a little bit wide. I do wonder if he potentially picked up a track limits warning. Don't forget, it is obviously on strict corner cutting, so therefore you do expect a lot of time penalties here at Austria this evening. So once again, we're going on board as Mr. Poem flies past Merc. What about Warner? Does he have a look? And he is going to go for the move down the inside on Merc now. Merc holds on down the outside, and he does just about stay there. What about the bird, though? The bird's right involved. Has a look on the inside and the outside. Where is the bird going to go? He's going to go. He's going to attack. He has to switch to the outside line. A late defence from Warner, but the bird has just about made the move sick, it seems. Still continuing to fight round the outside and down the inside line, and the bird does get through and is up into the top 4. So Warner there just has to drop behind and get a little bit of minor contact. If anything, it probably had more of an impact on the Aston Martin. And further back in the field as well, you've got Viking Fox overtaking Kesenator and up into the top 14. Let's go back up towards the front where the bird still behind Mr. Pona links pieces into the pits. That's a very early stop from Link's Piece. I'm pretty surprised about that. There are yellow flags for Kesenator. Don't forget, safety cars are on increased and they are not on standard. But Link's Piece is pitting very early here. He's going for the undercut. And he's going for the hard tyres as well. So a very intriguing strategy choice from him. Hazer and Doug are going side by side. Hazer has got himself through on Doug, and Bam is there as well. Bam may have a potential look on Doug, but doesn't seem to be going for it. Woody's in the picture, and then Baker Gaming just dropping back as well. Woody just behind Bam. They had an interesting move around the outside. We're going to go towards the front though, because again a four-way battle continues to occur between Mr. Poem, Bird, Merc and Warner. It's incredible how dramatic this is coming up. Mr. Poem does hold on to the lead, but what does the Bird have as he's made a move on Merc, and now the Bird is right in the middle and is up into P2. Merc drops back, Warner is in P4 as well. So they're all doing the utmost best to stay in this group, and they're all doing well to do it, to be fair. I mean, they've had some great racing between themselves, but they have obviously not decided to react to that undercut from Link's Piece, who is currently running in P12 on the fresh hard tyres. A penalty from Mr. Poem. That is the biggest penalty so far this evening. As a little bit of a twitch there from the Bird in his attempt to overtake Mr. Poem. So he should be able to get the move up into turn 4 now, surely. But here comes Merc as well. Merc down the inside. And is he going to go for the move? Not quite. He settles in behind. And luckily the Bird just about stays there. But Merc here fighting back. Merc is fighting it back. For the double left-hander, side by side, go Merc and the Bird. They continue to scrap away. And what does Merc have in store? Still side by side with the Bird. And it looks like he has finally got the move. Or has he? On board of the Bird, and yes he has, but the Bird has a look on the inside of Merc now, down into turn 9, and he has just about got ahead. Merc drops in behind, then Poem, then Warner. They're still together, and the cars behind them, the 4-pack, are catching them. And Merc round the outside on the Bird now, does take the position and back up into P1. And Bam is barely just over a second behind. He is catching this group. And here comes Mr. Poem now attacking the Bird. Down the inside he goes on Merc as well. Has he got the move done? It looks like he has done. Mr. Poem makes the move up into P1. I mean, the Alpines are still trying to work together, but trying to keep the Bird back. And now the Bird makes a move on the inside of Merc. But has he made it too late? Yes, he has. The Bird has crashed. He collides into Mr. Poem. And unfortunately, it will be a kickstarter error. He just broke too late. And I think he potentially has damage. Deck is out. Deck retires in the pits here. But the Bird has got damage from that. I'm sure he must have done. There's no way he could have escaped without damages there. I mean, I wish the game would give us a lovely view. But the view at the moment is not great. There we go. Oh, there's no damage. No clear-cut damage. Oh! And the Bird goes off again. A massive twitch there from the Bird, but he does not seem to have any obvious signs of damage. Warner into the pits then. He will go for a set of the hard compound tyres. Interestingly, drivers deciding mediums are not lasting particularly long, which I'm relatively surprised about. We're going to go back up towards the front of the field then. Link's Peace, obviously since he pitted, is not too far away from the pack though. As you can see, 11.5 seconds. It's the gap from the leader to Link's Peace now. And look at the gap between Lynx and Warrener. I mean, what's the gap there? That is a 9-second gap between Lynx and Warrener. 9 seconds after a 3-lap undercut from Lynx Peace. I mean, that is mighty stuff. And the fact is, Warrener was right involved with the Alpines. He was involved with the Bird, obviously. So he was up there in the front pack behind Lynx when Lynx pitted. Oh, what's that? It's a Mercedes. That is Woody. Woody's got into the wall. Has he got damage? No, he hasn't. He has not got damage. Very fortunate there. So we got up towards Bam then. And Bam will attack on Doug as the two Alpines continue to work together, which is almost perfect now for the Alpines. They don't have to worry about having anybody else around them. The deck fall off is insane. He has bad races, he has good races as well, to be fair. He has a lot of pace, I will say that much. He's not a slow boy, I will say. Yeah, that's for sure. And to be fair to him, this is a new rig for him as well this season. Which at the time I thought, oh okay, he doesn't seem overly quick at the start, but all of a sudden, as the season's gone on, especially in like tier 1 races, you can see he's got a lot of pace. Does make some mistakes sometimes though. But yeah, he is very, very quick, that's for sure. Back on here with Bam, Doug and Hazer. Not quite making any inroads on the Alpines. I think it will be difficult with those two working together. And the Bird is into the pit. So how far behind is the Bird going to be on his teammate? He will be a long way back, especially after that sort of a sequence of mistakes really on the same lap. Obviously he broke too late at one stage and then made an error out of turn 9 as well. So out of the pits, we're still waiting on the Kicksauber to come out, and now he's starting to exit the pits as well. He is so far back on the track map there. Just coming out of turn 1 now is the Bird. As we've got a move here coming from Doug on Bam. So yeah, just running to turn 4 is Link's Peace. Compare that to the Bird, who is only into turn 3. You may think it's only one corner, but it is a very long straight between the two Kicksaubers now. Not only that, but the Bird also has a little bit of traffic in the form of Basil just ahead of him. So go on board here with the two Alpines. So who will pit first as well will be the question. And how long are they planning to go for? Are they going to go for a one-stop strategy? Or is it a potential two-stop strategy here for the Alpine pairing? Obviously working together as they are is the quickest way to go for them. Let's go towards Doug and Bam and Hazer. Hazer there as well, by the way. We haven't really commented too much on Hazer, but he's not having the most unbelievable drive. As he sort of shapes up a little move, but again, not able to overtake Bam or Doug rather. He'll be disappointed with that. Need a safety car, well, possibly, yeah, just to get the race sort of back up and running. But again, it's been a fiery start. We're 20 laps in. There was a lot of battling going on for the opening 10 or 15 laps. Probably until the Bird broke a little bit too late. That's sort of the moment where it sort of calmed down after that. As you can see there, Bam and Doug still sort of having a little ding-dong battle. 2 seconds behind the two Alpines at the moment. Baker Gaming behind Woody as well. The Bird has got ahead of Basil and up the order into P11. And Link's Peace is gaining on Woody and Bakey, as you'd expect, in the battle for what is P6. And Link's is currently net P1. So you can see Bam getting incredibly close there. We're going to see Mr. Poem overtaking Merc and back up into P1. But down we go towards Doug, towards Bam and Hazer as well. As Hazer deciding to go for a move for 7.5, a fast lap now for the Bird. In P11, a bit of clean air as well, ahead of Basil. Does Basil decide to go for the overtake on the Bird? He is on 4-lap older tyres, but they are mediums as opposed to the Bird's hards. And as you can see there, Doug ahead of Bam. They are pretty much side by side, but now Bam just drops in behind. There's certainly some interesting racing going on. We're going to drop back here because the Bird is bypassing Basil back up into P11 now. He's got a lot of work to do, the Bird, if he wants to catch up to his teammate. The gap at the moment stands at almost 13 seconds, about 12 and a half between Lynx and the Bird right now. It's a big gap, and now Lynx Peace has got through because Bakey Gaming is into the pit, which will be massive for Lynx, because now Lynx Peace is going to have a chance to catch up to Woody. It's 2 Alpines again continue to trade places. Mr. Poem ahead of Merck, back down the order towards Warrener. Into the pits goes both Ferrari drivers. An interesting strategy call from them. And looks like Epic Frenchy may have been held up momentarily by his teammate as well. Oh, there are yellow flags. What's happened here? Lynx Peace. Lynx Peace, he had something. I think it might have just been a Bam. Bam has had something there. He was in a battle with Hazer and Doug, don't forget. And now Hazer is going at it and overtaking Doug as well. So what occurred there for Bam down to P7 in the V-Carb? And now the question will be, does he have any damage? Can we see on Bam? But we're going to stick here with Lynx because he is closing in on Woody and overtaking Woody as well. Woody not fighting it. And Lynx Peace now up into P5 and make that P2 because 3 drivers ahead are pitting. So he will now be right behind Mr. Poe. Say right behind. Obviously he's not right behind, but he is the second driver direct to Mr. Poem now. 6 seconds a gap, and obviously Lynx is already pitted in the Grand Prix. And those are your stops at the moment. So yeah, looking good for Lynx Peace. Woody probably just trying to hang on to Lynx as much as he can. Don't forget Woody on the hard tyres. The only driver to start on the hard compound tyre as well was Woody in that Mercedes. So he's going for the long run. But how long can he go on those hard tyres? And is it a 2-stop strategy? Or can anyone try a 1-stop? I mean, Mr. Poem, Woody, even Kesonator yet to pit as well. They're the only ones who could be looking at a possible one-stopper. But again, is it likely? It's not a particularly lengthy pit lane here. So it could be that the 2-stop is the most effective for the drivers here. As there is a move being made that Viking Fox is ahead of Baker Gaming and up into the top 10 for the Mercedes. Up towards Merckland, who was behind Basil and the Bird. But obviously, if we look at the tyre situation, he is on 4-lap fresher tyres than the Bird. So he will be hoping to make some moves here. The Bird does pull clear of Basil. And to be fair, Merck does get through Basil. Doesn't seem to fight it at all. And Merck now is up into P6. A penalty for Basil as well. 3 seconds for him. So Merck now getting himself into the DRS of the Bird. And those two will probably run together for a little bit, so that'll be good news for Merck. And he'll see if he can try and catch up to Lynx Peace in any way, shape or form. In all fairness, it does seem unlikely, and down the inside goes Merck on the Bird. Doesn't quite get the place here. But yeah, looking good for Lynx Peace if he wants to go on to win this Grand Prix. If there's no safety cars, he is surely the favourite at this moment in time. But it does depend on the strategies. Mr. Poem into the pit, which ensures Lynx Peace is leading the Grand Prix once again, as he was earlier in the race. On board with Merck in P6. He will be up to P5. Mr. Poem just coming out of the pits in a moment's time. This car is just released there, so we'll see where Mr. Poem comes out compared to the likes of Bird and Merck. And it will be a little fraction behind him. We'll just see Mr. Poem now coming out of the pits. And there are probably a few seconds between them. So, got a little bit of work to do now, Mr. Poem, if he wants to catch back up here. But this is potentially where Merck is going to try and do a bit of damage limitation towards Mr. Poem now. If he can stay ahead of the Bird and possibly even hold him up a little bit, get Mr. Poem back into that DRS range, then all of a sudden it might be game on for the Alpines here. or fail lap, obviously. It could try and push hard and catch links. Either way, anything can happen. Oh, and a bird! 3-second time penalty! And that is a big one, and that could really cost the bird come the end of the race, even if it's for a win, which we don't yet know, because we've yet to see a full course safety car. We only got the virtual safety car from lap 1, so we're waiting to see if we're going to get a full course safety car here. Again, safety cars are on increase, which obviously, luckily earlier in the race, Basil didn't get away. It was a virtual and not a full course, and Basil since then obviously didn't get disqualified, luckily for him. But as you can see, down the inside goes the bird and on Merck, and Basil as well, having a look on the inside of Merck, not quite getting the move done. Merck does stay ahead of the V-Carb into 5th place. Mr. Poem is slowly gaining a bit of time as well. So he is catching up there as the bird rides over the curb. So yeah, potentially looking good for him. We're going to just drop down for the moment as Epic Frenchie go for the move on Doug up into P12. Let's go back up the field and towards the bird and Merck. And they have started to drop the Basil now, who is 1 second back, and he probably will get DRS here, but it may be his final time getting DRS as well. I do think it is, so yeah, you won't be getting DRS again. Down into turn 3, sadly for Basil. Or will he, is the question. I mean, I don't think he was quite in range, and he isn't. So yeah, Basil's not there. Merck now down the inside on the bird. Is he going to make it stick? Not quite. He will get a dose of DRS into turn 4 as well. And as you can see, he's switching to the inside and does overtake the bird. Up into 4th place now goes Merck. Warner as well, don't forget. Warner already pitted, and he is ahead of them. Although he is on older tyres, especially compared to the Alpine pair. So 2 laps older than the bird as well. So yeah, not in a perfect position, but Warner will be happy to be in P3, having pitted already in this Grand Prix. And yes, again, for those who are in Tier 2, obviously Boy Knockout being one of those in the chat, Warner will be racing in Tier 2 from round 13 onwards for the final 3 Grand Prix. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do in Tier 2 rather than Tier 3, which he did seem to have a few dominant races before making his move up to Tier 2. But anyways, let's see the bird. He will now get through on Merck into turn 3 and back up into P4 he goes. Basil still not quite in the DRS range either. And Mr. Poem is about 3 seconds behind the bird and Merck as well. So he is not far adrift. So potentially watch out for that. Can Merck and the bird see off the challenge of Mr. Poem, especially the bird? He's going to want to avoid having both Alpines in this picture. Just drop down quickly to have a look at Baker Gaming, maybe have a look at Epic French as well. Both Ferraris involved in a little battle with Hazer and Doug respectively. Winnie Fernandez also has pitted twice in this Grand Prix. He must have picked up damage, which he did, obviously, we did see it. He got damage earlier in the Grand Prix, unfortunately for him. Oh, that's Basil. Basil has made a mistake out of turn 10, and Warner receives a 3 second time penalty, but Mr. Poem now is up into P6 and gaining time on both the bird and Merck up ahead. But yeah, saying about Winnie Fernandez, he did obviously get wing damage earlier in the Grand Prix, but the only benefit that Winnie Fernandez will get from it is he repaired his damage and a second time of asking. Obviously it didn't repair the damage on the first time, sadly for him. As Merck gets back through on the bird. And the gap to Mr. Poem is 3.3 seconds. So Mr. Poem did lose about 7 tenths or so in the opening couple of sectors of this lap at lap 29. Yeah, we'll still wait for the likes of Lynx to go for their second stop. He obviously will. I know he's on hard tyres, but they are not going to go until the very end now. 15 laps on those hards. So yeah, certainly will be going for a long sort of distance, but then he will pit. Most likely, potentially, with about 20 laps to go. You might say around lap 50 could be a possibility for him. And Merck with a 7.1 has now set the new fast lap. And Basil with a 10-second time penalty. And he has retired from the race as well, Basil. So he's out in the V-Carb. Right, the bird back through now on Merck. And Merck just has to drop into P5. Mr. Pyre is starting to lose some time again, though. So not ideal this for him. Baker Gaming is through and Ruster Bolt. Ruster Bolt under pressure now from Hazer as well. Hazer trying a switchback approach here on Ruster Bolt. Is he going to get it done? Merck is back through on the bird into P4. But Hazer, has he got the move? Down he is on the Ruster Bolt. Yes, he has. So Hazer now up into the top 8. And that will see him behind Bakey Gaming as well. I do wonder if we're ever going to get a safety car in this Grand Prix. I mean, obviously we haven't had one since, and now Woody makes his first stop. He's gone just over 30 laps on the hards. So is he trying to an effective 30-20-20 possibly? Oh, no, he's not. He's trying to retire in the pits. That's what he's trying to do. Understood the situation. But Woody's retired. I'm not exactly certain why. He was in a decent position there. Obviously hadn't pitted yet, but could have tried a one stop, even a two stop, and been on a double set of mediums. But either way, he's out of the race. So we're just on here with Hazer and also Russell Bolt just behind Baker Gaming once again. Epic Frenchy with Doug for P10 and 11, and Steal the Bird with Merck for P3 and P4. But is Hazer going to go for the move? No, not quite. He decides better off it into turn 4 and stays in behind. What about the Bird as well? Stays behind and will drop towards Doug. Drops in behind Epic Frenchy for P10 and P11 as well. So yeah, let's go back up the field then towards Merck and the Bird, who are catching up now towards Warner. And they are not miles away from Link's Peace here. And Merck has a 9-lap advantage over Link's Peace in terms of tyres. I mean, that could offer him an opportunity to potentially go on to win this race. Good evening, Matthias. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, certainly hope so. But Merck doing well now to catch up towards Lynx. If he could make a move on Warner here, he could be the one to bring this group forward. And Warner's dropped back. Merck has got through. The Bird has got through as well. Warner has either let them through or he made a mistake. Didn't quite get the traction he wanted out of turn 3 potentially. But either way, Merck and the Bird are through now. Unless Warner feels those two have strong pace, they're quicker. Maybe going to try and work with them two to catch up to Lynx here. That's Ruster Bolt and Baker Gaming go side by side. Ruster Bolt does get ahead now. And he's still behind Hazer, but it's up to P7 in this Grand Prix. Up the field towards the Bird we go once more. And he's directly behind Merck. He will surely get ahead. Possibly not into turn 1. Is he going to go for the move? He has a look. He is going to go for it to turn 1. Oh, yes, he is. Down the inside he'll go. Merck is on the outside line. He does stay side by side here. Who gets DRS? It will be the Bird. And Merck now will lose out potentially to Warner as well. Yes, he will. So Warner down the inside on Merck. And down the inside as well. And he look at that little bit of traction loss there for Warner. So he cannot get through on Merck as well. And Merck now sails by on the Bird and back into P2. So the gap at the moment, 6.5 seconds between Link's Peace in the lead and Merck in second position here. And those two are two of just 5 drivers without a single time penalty. As Doug is also through now on Epic French. To have a little look at this. They are going side by side out of turn 4 into turn 5. And now through the double left-handers at turn 6 and 7 as well. And Epic Frenchy has just about edged his car through on Doug. So they have got themselves through now. And here we go. Out of the double left-handers at turn 7 into turn 8. And now up the hill to go to turn 9 as well. Epic Frenchy is going to stay ahead. But we will go up towards this battle. Into turn 3. Go Merck. And the Bird once again. The Bird down the inside he goes. Breaks a little bit later as well. And he does seem to get ahead. Doesn't have the traction he needs. And who gets DRS? I don't think either of them. No, neither of them got DRS there. But the bird goes round the outside of Merc on this occasion. Yeah, he has got himself through now, so Merc just drops back, or does he? They're going to try and fight it again. They are scrapping it out here. No doubt about it, but the bird and Merc still going side by side. And now the bird on the inside, but make it the outside because Merc is pulling ahead. And Merc is ahead now. He's clear and back into P2. And then you've got the bird, and then you've got Warner. Yellow flags. I believe for Kesenator in the Red Bull. But let's go back. Here's the bird going to try and get through into turn 1 now. It looks like he will. They will go side by side into turn 1. And now, has Merc on the outside? Yes, he does. Would he get DRS as well? The bird drops behind. The bird's made another mistake here. And drops behind Warner as well. Now, Warner is going for the move on Merc, and he does take him as well. They are going side by side. The bird is going to be right involved once again, however. He sails through on Warner. Does he have anything to boast about here? He doesn't quite go for the overtake on Merc, however, and remains in P3. So Merc in second place, but they are losing time on Link's piece here over this battling. If they weren't battling this hard, they'd certainly be gaining time. And Link's piece must be relatively happy with his overall race pace, but also the fact that the trio behind are certainly battling each other. And it's sort of allowing Mr. Poem into the picture as well, at just under 2 seconds behind. So once again we're on here. Merc, the bird, Warner. Who will be leading going on to lap 37 is the question. We're going to go on board with the bird. Still a few battles further back. You've got Ruster Bolt with Baker Gaming. They have lost Hazer now. Hazer in P6 looking comfortable now. As Doug and Epic Frenchie also involved in the battle for P10. But the bird down the inside on Merc now. Has he got himself ahead? No, he hasn't. So he drops in behind again. And now a move being made. Baker Gaming gets through on Rusted Bolt. We will all drop back in Epic Frenchie on Doug as well. And they will all go side by side once more here between the bird and Merc. And they are still going for it. But the bird on this occasion surely is ahead. And he is just about edging his car ahead. But now Merc goes for it again. Merc on the inside, the bird on the outside. And now the bird is clear. But Merc is going to potentially go for the move. And he does. He does go for the move. I mean, it's like you're racing AI. But Merc is up into P2. I mean, it's very clean racing. Even though you probably question where they're going for the overtakes. But either way, they are keeping it clean. And Mr. Poem now is within 1 second of the trio. The bird down the inside on Merc once again. And he does have DRS here. And this allows for this driver here, Warner, to potentially attack the bird. The bird then goes down the inside on Merc. Does he get it? Yes, he does. And Warner as well, trying to get involved. Mr. Poem now will have a fantastic view in 5th place. As our Baker Gaming continuing his battle with Ruster Bolt. As our Doug and Epic Frenchie. But down the inside now goes Merc on the bird. Has he tried to get the move done into turn 4? Now out of turn 5. And into turn 6, Kesenator time penalty. But still side by side go Merc and the bird. And they continue their flurry of battles and scraps and overtakes here. They are still going at it. Warner's trying to get involved as well. He wants a piece of the action. And here he comes. He's having a look on the outside. Doesn't quite have enough there to go for the overtake. Merc back up into P2 with the bird in P3. Then Warner, then Mr. Poem, who is in 5th place. He's still looking good in this battle. Merc again, the only driver without a penalty. But now, down the inside goes the bird. Again on Merc. Doesn't quite go for it. Warner, what does he have to offer? Is he going to go for the overtake? Yes, he is. Round the outside on the bird. And Mr. Poem. Here comes Poem. Down the inside goes the Alpine. It's 3 wide. Bam is out the session. But look at that. Mr. Poem gets through on the bird. Does he get through on Warner as well? The Alpine trying to make it 2 and 3. Down the outside Mr. Poem, round the outside Wommaner, still side by side through turn 4, and Mr. Poem is through, and it is an Alpine double podium. The Bird round the outside of Wommaner. Wommaner breaks a little bit later as well, going side by side. Yellow flags into sector 1, but it looks like Wommaner, has he held on to the move? Yes, he has. The Bird goes a little bit wide, he drifts off, and Wommaner's up into 4th place. Some incredible action here between these 4 drivers, having previously been just 2 between Merc and the Bird. Then they caught up to Wommaner. Mr. Poem then entered the fray as well. And it is a 4-way battle for P2. I mean, you'd have thought every single lap so far has been the last lap of the Grand Prix. It's certainly not been, but either way, it's been incredibly entertaining as Mr. Poem gets through on Merc and now up into P2. Oh! And that's the Bird! The Bird has made contact with Wommaner there. He certainly has made contact, and I've got to say that may very well be a penalty for the Bird as well. Certainly had a little bit, it was a fairly heavy hit in the end. Obviously, luckily for Wommaner, they only lost to 1 place, but that may very well be a penalty for the Bird if it gets reported by Wommaner there. An interesting incident either way. Let's drop back and have a little look. We haven't had a look much towards Doug and Epic Frenchie due to the battling going ahead for P2. I've got to say, we have to move up, I'm sorry, but the Bird is right there again, right behind Merc. And Doug gets through an Epic Frenchie, yellow flags for the Ferrari, but the Bird, has he got himself a chance to get through on Merc here? Not quite. Merc defends the inside line. The Bird gets a little bit twitchy, out of shape out of turn 1. Now rising into turns 2 and 3. Have they got a chance of an overtake on Merc? Will they go round the outside? Yes, they will. And they will go side by side. Merc, don't forget, will also get DRS. But who has the traction advantage? It looks like it's the Bird. They are going side by side. I'm sure both of them are going to be struggling on their battery as well. Side by side through to turn 4 they go. And it is the Bird who is just ahead, is it? No, they're still side by side again. Frantic action here. Through turn 6 and into 7. And Merc has to drop in behind the Bird. And Bird is back up into P3. And here comes once again. Merc is having a look. He's going to go for an audacious switchback. Doesn't quite go for it. The Bird potentially going a little bit wide as well. And Mr. Poem is starting to pull 8/10 clear as well. Further back I've noticed, well, Doug has dropped behind, or rather has pulled clear of Epic Frenchies, and that gap at 2.5 seconds now. Obviously there were yellow flags a couple of laps to go for the Ferrari. So back up on this battle. Poem, oh, very late there, Merc. Almost clattering into the Bird. Luckily avoids the kick Sauber. I'll say, though, through a couple of incidents in all this battling, they've done very well to keep it quite largely clean as well. So fair play on that one. They've done quite a remarkable job here to stay in there. So we're staying on with Poem, Bird, Merc and Wommaner. Let's go on board with the Bird. As they go for the move at turn 1, he stays in behind. Then you've got Merc, then you've got Wommaner, but here comes the Bird. You expect him to go for the move now, surely. Does he go down the inside? Yes, he does. On Mr. Poem. Looks like he's going to have to move, or is he? Mr. Poem is going to try and fight it. Merc is going to join in now. And Merc pulls side by side. It's an interesting one. The Bird goes down the inside. We'll go directly on here with the Bird. battling with Mr. Poem now. Side by side go to Sauber and the Alpine. And it looks like the bird, surely. But he's going to go round the outside, the long way round on Mr. Poem. And he has made a stick. Yes, he has. And up into P2. I mean, even though they're battling this hard, they haven't lost loads of time to links. And now, once again, here comes Mr. Poem. Round the outside into turn 9. And he does pull ahead. Back up into P2 goes Mr. Poem. And now the bird goes for the move down the straight. It's turn 1 and does complete it very quickly there. And also side by side, Warren has decided, you know what, I've had enough sticking him behind. I want to go for some moves. Now he's attacking Merc. And Merc has dropped behind Warren. He's going to try and fight this one back. And can he do something? They're also going side by side ahead. And they are going side by side. Mr. Poem with the bird. And also side by side, Warren with Merc. And Mr. Poem is ahead of the bird. But what about Warren and Merc now? Down the inside goes the bird on Poem. Down the inside goes Merc on Warren. A four-way battle resumed. I mean, it's been pretty epic between them. One of the best battles this season, even though they're losing time to links again. It's not a load of time. Oh, a twitch from the bird. The bird loses 3 positions through 1 corner alone. He's going to try and retake one of those straight off the bat. He's attacking Merc, but cannot get back through. It's almost like they've had a group chat. They've all had a team meeting. Not even a team meeting, a driver meeting, and decided, you know what? We're going to go 2 and 3 wide through incredible corners. And we're going to give a show for the stream. That's pretty much what they've decided on, I'm sure. They must have discussed this before the race. To be like, yeah, you know what? We're going to go all in for battles here. And the bird now on the inside. The bird, is he going to break later? He's going to go for the move on Warren as well. Warren goes round the outside, holds on to the place. But here comes Merc once again. And he drops him behind on this occasion. The bird then back up into 4th place. Has a little gentle look on the inside of Warren as well. Couldn't quite execute any move, however. But here comes Merc once again, has a look on the bird. Doesn't quite go for it. Do want to drop back at some point towards the likes of Rusterbolt and Baker Gaming, but guess what? We've had no chance of that. And the battling between these 4 drivers, well, it's certainly keeping us on our toes. And it's keeping the drivers on their toes as well here. Still waiting on a potential second stop as well. Willie Fernandez has already pitted on another occasion, 3 for him. And Baker Gaming, 3-second time penalty, currently occupying P8 for the Ferrari. So we are back on here with a 10-second penalty to Willie Fernandez, who was retired from the Grand Prix, unfortunately, as well. Just getting a little drink there. The bird then and Merc once again going side by side, but the bird just pulling ahead of Merc now. But Warren has done well to get himself up into a podium position. Do wonder if all this battling is going to see Hazer get through now. Hazer is not exactly too far away. And that's the tyre situation as well for you. So Hazer does have the joint freshest tyres of anybody on track. Kesenator has done an extraordinary 42 laps on medium tyres. Let's hope he's not at risk of a puncture, because that is a long time at the Red Bull has lasted there. That's Warner on the inside, goes for it on Mr. Perman, does take it. Now it's turn 1 and back into, well, should I say, he's got up to P2. So well played for him for that. But how long will that last? Probably not long, because now Mr. Perman goes straight through, and up to P2 he goes. Again, then you got the bird and Merc as well. The gap to Hazer, 5.7, 5.6, 5.4. You can see through the corners just how quickly Hazer is gaining. And it wouldn't surprise me if it ended up being 5 or 6 or even 7 cars involved in this battle here, if they continue to battle the way they are battling. Yeah, it's certainly looking good though in this battle. But let's go back up towards Warner then. 2/10 the gap towards Mr. Perm. Merc has just fallen back a little bit. Potentially Mr. Perm just needs to make sure he backs off the pace just to keep his teammates in DRS range here. All of them have penalties, don't forget now. Merck, the most recent of those at 3 seconds for all 4 drivers. And again, that could play a big implication in this race because Hazer, Russell Bolt, the 2 behind them, do not have any time penalties. So therefore, they could be the ones trying to charge through. And now the Bird makes his move on Warner and up into 3rd place he goes. And Russell Bolt, 3-second time penalty in P7. So as I said, he didn't have a penalty, now he does. So now only 2 drivers, Lynx and Hazer, have not got a penalty. And now Merck is through on Warner as well. And up into 4th place. So those 4 drivers still battling fiercely. But they are not losing a lot of time to Lynx, I have to admit. I mean, obviously if they weren't battling like this, they would have been right with Lynx Peace, I can assure you of that. But the way they're battling, well, Lynx Peace has got a clear advantage to win this race. But it does show if they were to battle smartly, all of a sudden you could see they could all catch up to Lynx and make it an intriguing race for the battle for the win. Which I kind of wouldn't mind seeing. I do wonder if they may very well do that. Because the fact is, again, the way they're battling, yet they are not really losing that much time to Lynx. Maybe if they battle smartly, they could catch up to Lynx and make it a very exciting ending, even though Lynx doesn't have a penalty. Who knows what may be in store come the end of the race. So the Bird then is still trying to overtake Mr. Poem. And here he comes into turn 4. Has a look on the inside and does get the move done, does he? And Mr. Poem will try and hold it round the outside there. But it is an overtake completed for the Bird. And back up into 2nd place he goes. Again, the gap to Hazer down at 5.6 seconds. So he's still making some inroads. Russell Bolt, meanwhile, has lost time, unfortunately, with him being around. Baker Gaming and Viking Fox also on a lot older tyres, Russell Bolt. So it's not a particularly big surprise. They has been losing time. Warner now does make a move down the inside on Merck and up into 4th place. So we'll go on board with Mr. Poem then. Is he able to get a move done here? A 1/10 of a second behind the Bird now. He's going to go for it. Rain has hit. We are seeing some rain on circuit. It is raining here at Austria, at Spielberg. This could be crucial for the race. Forget about trying to catch up to Lynx Peace if they keep going at this battling. Because now they all want to get there first to get into the pits. The Bird is going to go down the inside on Mr. Poem. Now the battling could heat up with the rain here. And it does look like they are staying there. Warner then. Warner has a look on Merck. Doesn't quite go for the move, however, through the double left-handers at turn 7. Now out of 8. And they'll go into turn 9. Do any of them pit already? What are any of them saying? They are all going to stay out here. So they all stay out for an additional lap. What does Hazer do? Hazer is also staying out. So all of them deciding it's not wet enough. Obviously the rain has just started. But it's going to be interesting. Mr. Poem down the side now on the Bird. The Bird will get the DRS. DRS still is activated, but it will be deactivated at some stage. So don't forget about that. And now Merck makes it through as well. So the 2 Alpines both bypassing the Bird here in this Grand Prix. And Warner as well. Warner with a greater traction. He has the force to get through on the Bird. And Warner, but the Bird goes down the inside on the Aston Martin. They are going to go side by side. Merck is through on Poem and up into P2. But what does Bird have to do here? Round the outside on Warner he goes. But Warner has done enough. He has got enough grip. And he's up into P4 now, Warner. So the Bird drops in behind and it's down to 5th. And now here comes Warner attacking Mr. Poem. And into the pits will go these two. It's going to be close there. But as you can see, ooh. I thought Warner was going to go into the pits there. Obviously, he took the inside line for the overtake rather than to say he's going into the pits. Merck is in, as is your race leader Lynx, who is onto the intermediates. But it is a 1 lap undercut. Oh, Merck's gone for full wets. Is it going to get to a point where it's going to pour down of rain and it's going to go to full wet conditions? Merck has opted for the full wet. Is that a mistake for Merck, or is he genuinely believing it's going to get heavy rain and it's going to go to full wets here? We are going to find this one out. The bird now goes down the inside of Mr. Poem once again. Poor camera angle there, but Mr. Poem holds on to P2. Warner is now leading. Obviously, it's not a net race lead. That goes to Link's Piece. But Merck is on full wet tyres. I do wonder if that is a blunder from the Alpine. And Mr. Poem is going to go for another lap as both Warner and the bird are into the pits here. And Warner receives a 10-second time penalty. And that is going to be a potential podium out of the window now for Warner. He will surely not get that win or a podium. And onto intermediates go both Warner and the bird. Does Merck stay out? He does. Merck is hanging out there on those full wet tyres now. And as you can see, he's ahead of Warner and the bird. Which is very interesting that even though he's on full wet tyres, he has managed to get ahead of those two drivers here. Does he know something that everyone... Oh, Epic French has also gone for full wets. Two drivers have opted for the full wet tyres. And it could make for a grandstand ending here at Austria. Is it going to be it? Is it full wet? Mr. Poem is still out there. We're going to go aboard here with Mr. Poem. He stays out for another lap. No, he doesn't. He's into the pits. Is he going to go full wet, or is he going to go for the intermediates here? Don't get a 10-second penalty. Make sure he doesn't. We are going to watch this pit stop here from Mr. Poem and see what tyre he goes for. And his intermediates for Mr. Poem. And into the pits goes the bird. Is it full wets now for the bird? Or has he got damage? What is the bird doing? He is pitting, as is Bakey Gaming. He's repairing his wing. The bird has got front wing damage. Warner has a penalty of 10 seconds, don't forget. Wow, this race has been pretty mental, I cannot lie. One of the best races this season, surely, in 100% till maybe even in all tiers. Having a look now at Rusted Bolt behind Viking Fox, but what an extraordinary race this has been. Right, Warner's into the pits as well. Has he got damage now? Surely it's not full wet. I mean, Merck's on the full wets. He is repairing his front wing as well, Warner. I mean, it's not gone well for Warner. He's serving his 10-second time penalty as well. DRS has finally been disabled. That took a long time. As we see Mr. Poem overtaking Merck now. Obviously, Mr. Poem on the inters. Merck is on the full wet, but drifting wide. I mean, I'm pretty certain it is intermediate conditions here. Merck is on, or Hazer rather, is also on inters. Is only a couple of seconds behind now. Keselator's going for an intriguing soft tyre strategy. Not certain it's quite ready for the soft tyres, but either way, that's what he's opted for. Possibly just an error there from Keselator to go for that. Maybe should have gone for the intermediates. Or possibly even full wets, but it certainly looks to be intermediate conditions. Hayes is into Merck rather is pitting, and he'll go for the intermediates now, surely. I mean, what position can Merck still get? I mean, you can still get something decent here. I mean, the bird is on intermediates, and Merck may still be ahead of the bird here. We are on board with the bird. Merck is coming out of turn 1, just now out of the pits, and he is still ahead of the bird by what looks to be a margin of about 3.5 seconds between Merck and the bird. I mean, this race for the bird has gone pretty terribly, especially since the rain hit us. It's not gone down well for the bird, has it? Unfortunately for him. But we are back on with Rusterbolt and Viking Fox continuing their little duel for P4 and P5. And that is a penalty situation just there. Currently, Viking Fox just have more in penalties than Rusterbolt. Still no penalties for Lynx or Hazer in this Grand Prix. As Kesenator, realising his error, has gone now for the intermediates. And the bird receives another penalty, 3 seconds. And that will be 6 seconds in total now for the bird in this Grand Prix. And more importantly, you could argue for the championship, he is also behind Rusterbolt in this Grand Prix as well. So Rusterbolt looks likely to gain points here on the bird for the championship. Are there any other battles to watch out for? Merck is catching up towards Doug now. We're going to go on with this battle then and just see if Doug is going to do anything to stop Merck from easing his way through. Don't forget, it's 4th position. You don't need to move out of the way. You can battle it if you want to. But let's see if Merck can get himself possibly even up into P4 in this Grand Prix here. He'll be delighted to get 4th place from this position now, Merck. Which is still possible. Lynx Peace will win this race, I'm pretty sure, unless he makes a big error. But that seems highly unlikely, especially at this stage of the Grand Prix. But here we go with Merck, with Doug just ahead of him, a little bit slidey out of turn 10 as well there, Doug. And Merck is going to put him under all sorts of pressure into turn 3. And if he doesn't make a move into turn 3, he might go for it into turn 4. But Doug goes off track, and that will make it very easy for Merck. And now Merck is up into the top 6, so he does get that move done fairly easily in the end. Now on with Merck once again. Is he going to go for a move here? But that's a Kesenator just ahead of him. Kesenator should be abiding by the blue flags and sort of goes a bit wide there, possibly letting him through. And to be fair, yeah, he is letting Doug through as well. And dropping to P12. I say dropping to P12, obviously saying P12, but he has, of course, been lapped. Right, Merck gaining time on Viking Fox and gaining time fairly quickly as well. Hazer as well, trying to get himself within 3 seconds of Mr. Poem, which is the penalty that the Alpine currently holds. That'll be over 2nd place, and Baker Gaming with a penalty as well. And that'll be 12 in total now for the Ferrari. We have got about 13.5 laps of racing to go. Merck out of turn 1 behind Viking Fox. He'll still be targeting P4 now with Rusterbolt in that position at the moment. But Merck will hope to get a move on Viking Fox within the next few laps and then make a dart for it on Rusted Bolt. But here comes Merck now, burning the little battery he has remaining. But Viking Fox will try and hit back here. Viking on the inside, Merck on the outside. But it's going to be a lot more tricky for Merck to put off any sort of big overtakes. But he's going to go for a big overtake. He does go for it. He gets a massive overtake on Viking Fox. And Merck is into the top 5 now. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's very, very tricky, these conditions here. Obviously, he made a mistake earlier going for the full wets. It was obviously an error. He was obviously meant to go for inters. Must have just clicked incorrectly for the full wets. But either way, fortunately for Merc, he's on inters, and it looks like he's in a good position. Doug's into the pits here. I mean, just over 10 laps to go. I hope he's not retiring. I hope he's going to go for a different strategy. Or has he got damage? He's gone for another set of intermediates. I mean, he is repairing his front wing, I can see. A new front wing for Doug Glenn, but he's onto a fresh set of intermediate tyres now. And he will drop behind his teammate Warner and into P10, but luckily for Doug, not a lap down in this Grand Prix. Again though, standard on damages, we have increased safety cars, and yet we've only had a virtual. Oh, there's a Red Bull in the background, oh my goodness gracious me. Keselator is dancing on ice. That looked like he was literally dancing on ice as well. Now he's lawn mowing. But wow, that dancing on ice was quite something from Keselator there. Making moves, of course. And back on with Merkland in P5, and he is half a second behind Rusted Bolt now. Oh. Move there, but let's see, can Rusted Bolt hold on to this position, or will Merc get through in the end? They are still closing the gap, about 0.4 of a second now into turn 1. And does Merc begin to make a gain? Not really gaining down the straight, maybe gaining about 1/10 of a second in total. Not a big enough gain to get an overtake done, especially on these intermediates. But Merc now is much closer out of turn 3. And will he go for the sucker punch move in turn 4? He goes round the outside of Rusted Bolt. He's not going to go for a switchback. He will try and hold his line. He will have an inside line, but Rusted Bolt makes a little bit of contact. In the end, just struggling in these conditions. Merc gets through, and Merc now is up into P4. That is a great move there from Merc as well to get himself through in these conditions, tough as it is, yet he's made the move into 4th place now. I mean, I highly doubt he's going to make any more positions. Unfortunately for him, Hazer and his own teammate are just too far up the road. But we may now have a look towards the Bird, who is half a second behind Viking Fox. And who knows, the Bird may very well look to contest with Merc over 4th place at the end of this Grand Prix. But first he needs to dispatch of Viking. Here he comes. Will he go outside? Will he go inside? He goes to the inside. And the Bird into turn 3 has got the move done on Viking Fox. Up into P6 he goes. And now he could track down Rusted Bolt and Merc up ahead. So we'll go back on with Rusted Bolt. Getting a little bit tricky for him on the exit of turn 4 to turn 5. So he would have lost a little bit of time once more as he heads into the double left-handers once again through turn 6 and 7 they go. Again, very slippery out on circuit now. Still intermediates, not quite ready for the full wet. Epic French, he is into the pits. Is it for front wing damage, or is he doing some sort of different strategy? It is going to be most likely front wing damage, although then again, his car wasn't stationary for particularly long, so maybe just getting a fresh set of tyres on, even though they were barely on for just under 10 laps there for Baker Gaming. Oh, not Baker, sorry Baker Gaming, I meant Epic Frenchy, of course. Speaking of Epic Frenchy, he's just out of the pits at the head of Rusted Bolt just here. But Rusted Bolt, obviously, with the blue flags, gets through. And now can try and keep on Merc. He's not really losing time to Merc, luckily for him. 0.8 of a second. Obviously, Merc made the overtake about 3 laps ago now. So Rusted Bolt has done well to be within a second of Merc. And the Bird is not too far adrift either. And still has a shot. Oh, as Bolt goes wide. And the Bird is now going to gain time. He will see Rusted Bolt slipping and sliding, his championship rival, and the Bird now is directly behind his championship rival for 5th place. the penalty situation. The bird needs to beat Russell Bolt by 3 seconds in this Grand Prix. Now all of a sudden, this could really heat up. Merck with another 3 seconds. That's 6 in total now for Merck. So we are going to go to the penalty situation. Just stay on with that for now, I think. But that's the best way to go about it. Hazer still well and firmly inside that 3 second window on Mr. Perm as well. That's over P2 and P3. Gotta say, we haven't really mentioned Lynx too much in this race, but all is effectively dominating. Certainly since the opening, maybe 10 laps. Since then, he's pretty much dominated since. So yeah, he's done a superb job out in front. But the bird is going for the move here on Russell Bolt. Out of turn 3, into turn 4. Down the inside goes the bird. Has he pulled off the move now on Russell Bolt? Yes, he has. And the bird is up into P5 now. He has the same amount of time penalties as Merck ahead. He has 3 seconds more than Russell Bolt. But Russell Bolt, if he could keep it together for the final 7 laps, possibly can still get 5th place in this race here. As you can see, we are on board with Rusted Bolt then. Through these tricky conditions, they did start in dry conditions if you are only just starting to watch. It was fully dry at the start of the race. It stayed fully dry until what has pretty much been the last 15 laps or so. Possibly even less than that actually. Yeah, as you can see, 13 laps for Lynx are the oldest tyres, or 14 now for Viking Fox. So yeah, it's not been raining for too long, about 15 laps or so. But it had been dry for the whole race beforehand. So really, it's only been from about lap 49, lap 50 onwards, where it has been wet conditions, or intermediate conditions rather. We're back on here with Rusted Bolt. Hayes is still there, 1.6 to Mr. Poem. He's sort of gaining slowly. Who knows, come the end of the race, they may be battling legitimately for P2 rather than just over that time penalty. Hazer and Lynx doing well to not pick up a single time penalty in this race, I have to admit, so far. So back on with the bird. Russell Bolt still hanging on, still within 1 second as well. So he certainly looks like he's keeping close range here on the Kick Sauber. And there are yellow flags for the Ferrari. And I do believe that is... Oh, it's Bakey Gaming! So I thought it was Epic Venture, but it's actually Baker Gaming. He's lost the place to Warner now. And he will lose out to Doug as well due to his time penalties. So back on here with Russell Bolt. Here comes Bolt. Russell Bolt is having a look on the inside. Not quite going for it on the bird. But it does show he has a bit of pace on the inters to keep up with the bird here. Who has lost time on Merck. And is over 6 seconds back from him now. And Russell Bolt again feels like he can overtake. He's going to go round the outside. The bird's on the inside. And Russell Bolt trying his best. Cannot quite do anything to stop the bird from holding on to the position. Going for the wide line. Going for the slippery surface. Obviously due to the conditions. Avoiding what is a little bit of a drier line that they are currently running on. As Russell Bolt gets very twitchy and oversteery out of turn 7 and 8 there. Luckily avoids a spin and stays within 1 second of the bird. He needs to remain within 3 seconds due to the penalties that the bird has picked up in this Grand Prix. Yeah, it's the only battle at the moment going on. I mean, it could be a battle for P2 to be fair. Mr. Perm again losing a bit of time to Hazer. Hazer now within 1 second himself. So he's about the same margin as what Russell Bolt is to the bird. With the Bolt certainly gaining time into turn 3. I also wonder how many drivers increase their front wing once the rain hits. That would be interesting. But here comes Bolt now. Bolt is attacking down the inside of turn 4. Has he gone too deep low? Yes, he has. The bird goes for the switchback and he does execute it perfectly. Bolt just went in a little bit too hot there and sadly doesn't quite complete the move. Well played to the bird who holds on to P5 But again, needs to get a 3-second gap here. He's not doing it, but he has pulled a bit of a gap now, 1.2 seconds. All of a sudden, the bird has really got a gap now, 1.5 seconds now. Is Russell Bolt beginning to fall away, 1.6 seconds. He's continuing to gain time on Russell Bolt now. I mean, from almost overtaking the bird to losing 1.5 seconds, but Russell Bolt is going to have to try and push to get back into some sort of range to stay within that 3-second safety net. We are going to go up towards Hazer though. He is now within half a second of Mr. Perm, although we did just make a twitch there, which means he is not quite there to overtake. You've also got Link's Piece still out in front. 18 seconds clear. He has well and truly dominated this Grand Prix. I mean, through all the battling that occurred, obviously, you saw the likes of Mr. Poem, Merck, the Bird, Warrener was in there, Viking Fox for a short period was there as well. So yeah, you've certainly had drivers involved in the battling and the scraps out in front. But Link's Piece has done pretty well to avoid all of that scrapping, and he's done well to stay well clear out in front here. That's the Bolt still 1.7 behind the Bird, 1.8, so still losing a bit of time. Is he going to stay within 3 seconds? Hazer looks down the inside on Mr. Perm, doesn't go for the move fully. The rain continuing to fall even harder as the laps count down, with 3.5 laps of racing remaining here. So you can just see how much closer Hazer is getting. Also Ruster Bolt, 1.2 now behind the Bird. Make it 1.3, so still doing relatively well, succeeding in his charge towards a 5th place finish in this Grand Prix. And it's now back within a second, although it's gone back up just temporarily. So Russell Bolt catching the Bird now once again, and it's within 1 second. Quite remarkable that Russell Bolt has been able to achieve that. The Bird typically is the fastest driver in this tier, really. He's obviously leading the championship as well. Yellow flags for the Red Bull of Kesenator. I mean, look how hard that rain is falling. I mean, it's probably not miles away from full wets, you know. If the race was continuing for another 20 laps, obviously it's not. But if there were another 20 laps out there, I reckon it could very well have got to a stage where full wets were necessary. And Kesenator is out! Kesenator is out of the Grand Prix. Luckily for the drivers, there is no safety car. Look at the Red Bull there. It is out. Wow. He'll be gutted. He completed 68 laps, or well, 67 maybe. 66, 67 laps by Kesenator. And he's out of the race. Sadly, he will not be getting any points for that. And he'll be gutted about it. But either way, we are going on to the penultimate lap of the race for Link's Piece. He is out of turn 10 now to start the second from last lap. But we are sticking here with Mr. Poem and Hazer. Does Hazer go for a last lap move or a penultimate lap overtake? Possibly. I mean, he is very close, so he might just decide, you know what, I'm happy in this position. I don't know, we'll see. Obviously, we know time penalties can be taken off, so he might just decide, you know what, I want to go for the move just in case. Because what if Mr. Poem's penalty is not legitimate? We don't quite know. I mean, I'm not aware if that penalty could or could not be taken off. I don't know. I've not really heard anything on it. But Mr. Poem now under a bit of pressure from Hazer here. And Hazer does get a decent drive, but Mr. Poem pulls clear out of turn 3 into turn 4 now. Ruster Bolt, meanwhile, still is within that 3-second window, 1.8 seconds to the Bird, now 1.9 seconds, so he's just about hanging on in there, is Rusted Bolt. But now, we are going to start the final lap of the Grand Prix for Link's Piece. One more to go, and he will win the Austrian Grand Prix. A dominant drive from him. We're going to drop back down towards Hazer and Mr. Poem, who are also about to start the final lap here in what is now torrential rain here at Austria. Quite incredible. Look at Rusty Bolt. Here he comes, Rusty Bolt for a move. Round the outside of the bird. Cannot quite get it. Not quite there for the switchback, but he is directly behind the bird now. And he's definitely going to get a P5 out of this. But can he get an overtake? He's going to go for it. Here he comes. And he's not quite going for it to turn one. Bit of a false overtaking opportunity. Let's go towards Hazer here. Hazer, run up into turn 4. Is he going to go for the move on Mr. Pome? He's not got the battery to do so. He will have to stay in behind on the final lap. We are moments away from securing the win. Here we go. We are going to go up towards Link's piece. He has got 2 corners to round it off. Here is turn 9. And last of all, at turn 10, Link's piece with a dominant drive. Link's piece wins the Austrian Grand Prix. And he's very, very slow to do so. But he delivers in the Kicksauber. Mr. Poem, he has got his penalty. So he will drop behind. Hazer will wrap up a second place finish. He's off track to do so. But it is P2 for Hazer, P3 for Mr. Poem. Merck will come home in P4. And the bird is pushing hard. He is really pushing hard. He will come home. Oh, he slips there. He could have DNF'd doing that. But it will be P5. But he will drop behind Rusted Bolt. Bolt takes P5. Bird comes through in P6. Then it will be Viking Fox. There were yellow flags for Ferrari. Viking Fox in P7. Warner will take home an 8th place finish for the Aston Martin. Doug will then result in a P9 for him. And across the line he goes for P9. Baker Gaming. Well, it looks like he will come home in P10. Epic Frenchy will come home in P11. There is a lap between them. So it will be Baker Gaming coming through seconds. We're going to go to Epic Frenchy, who will come home in P11. And now we're going to go towards Link's piece because he has been crowned your race winner here at Austria. And it was a very exciting Grand Prix as well. A lot of battling through the race. But there you go. Superb job from him. As you see, the podium celebrations for the Kicksauber. Again, an absolute stunning drive to deliver the race win. We have been live across both Twitch and TikTok this evening as well. So thank you to all the viewers and all of those who have commented as well. Very much appreciated on that one. We will give you a little rundown whilst we are going through the full race classification. Link's Speed with the win. Hazer securing P2. And Alpine 3 and 4 with Merck delivering the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Russell Bolt P5 for the Williams, your championship contender, and he is ahead of his main championship rival, the championship leader, the Bird, who takes home P6. Viking P7, then the 2 Aston Martins are 8th and 9th for Warner and Doug, then the 2 Ferraris, P10 Bakey, P11 for Epic Frenchy, and then all the way down to P17. They did not finish the race, including Kesenator, unfortunately for him. But there you go. It is victory for Kicksauber and for Link's Piece here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Right then, as we do tend to do, we will give you a full rundown. Let's have a look what we've got going on for the remainder of this week and going into next week as well. So, tomorrow night, the International Tier, 9 o'clock PM for round 12. And it is going to be at Monza. Fast and Furious, that one will be for Italy. Monday night, 8 o'clock PM for Tier 1. Round 13 begins. And it will be held at Singapore as we're under the lights. So there you go. That's for Tier 1. Tier 2, Tuesday night, I'll be back on commentary duty. And it will be at round 13, held at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. And next Wednesday, 8 o'clock PM, Tier 3. And it will be held at the Brazilian Grand Prix as we'll head to Interlagos. And next Friday for the 100% tier, it'll be round 13 at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. So that is your week ahead here in UFRL. 5 days a week, of course, we do racing, and trials we do get 2 a week, providing obviously there are people to trial. But yes, if you do want to join, feel free. I might just be able to pop in a quick link into the TikTok if anybody does want to join the link or copy the link and join through that. Feel free. I will just pop in the link now if anybody is interested in joining. But that is for the TikTok, and I would also pop a link in for the Twitch if anybody is interested in joining us. Let me pop that in just now. There. And hopefully just copy that and paste it, and that is your link there. So for the Twitch and for the TikTok, we have popped the link in. So if anybody does want to join, feel free. Again, we race 5 times a week. Tiers 1, 2 and 3 on Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday. 100% tier on Friday. International tier on Saturday. And there you go. That is the round off for the week. So for tonight, once again, for the final time, congratulations, victory for Link's Peace, and a strong result for the Kick Sauber team. Alpine also delivering well with 3rd and 4th. Hazer on the podium, 2nd for him in the Haas, whilst Rosserbolt pips his championship rival, Le Bird, for 5th place as well. For tonight, we have been UFRL, I've been UFRL F1 Viva. Thank you for watching, and good night.